Today is Friday the 13th, and you are listening to episode number 7 of the DogHouse podcast.
From DogHouseSystems.com, this is the DogHouse podcast.
All right, we'd like to welcome everybody back on this very lucky day, Friday the 13th.
Spooky.
Hey, we're countering it, though, because this is our lucky episode number 7. So we'll make up for it. So welcome back, Abby and Lorenzo. How are you guys doing today?
Couldn't be better.
Always doing well.
This week is going to be a fun podcast. Well, I don't know. Fun may not be the right word. Just from the standpoint of our first thing that we're going to talk about.
A little sad.
Yeah, it's a little bit older in the news. This happened almost a couple weeks ago, but we're going to talk a little bit about AnandTech shutting down after 27 years. But on the flip side, we're going to also counter it with some great Windows 11 news. And I'm kind of being facetious, but we do have a little update on that Abby's going to talk about with us. And we are also going to be talking about the new game releases I guess there's some new game releases and also some epic games of the week that we will continue sharing with you guys that are free for the week. And we are also going to be in Pack Talk talking about a motherboard BIOS question for Lorenzo. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the first segment.
All right. Welcome to Bark Pits. This one's going to break some hearts. I know when I told John this news, I broke his heart. But after 27 years of covering tech, AnandTech is shutting down. They have moved a lot of their employees already, and they will no longer be producing any more articles.
Speaking of which, they had incredible articles through the years. That will be missed for sure.
Definitely will be missed. Posted August 30th, the editor-in-chief, Ryan Smith, penned their final article announcing the shutdown, writing, "Few things last forever, and the market for written tech journalism is not what it once was, nor will it ever be again. So the time has come for AnandTech to wrap up its work and let the next generation of tech journalists take their place within the zeitgeist."
That's kind of hard to argue.
Eloquent, but not wrong.
Yeah. Well, for those that might not know, AnandTech was a review and news site for all things tech. It was such a great go-to site. I had that bookmarked. It was a great way just to be able to stay on top of technical news. And it was founded back in 1997 by Anand Shimpi. And he stayed with it until 2014, which at that point he went to go to work for Apple. And he handed over the reins to Ryan Smith to be the editor-in-chief. And Ryan obviously was there till the end.
Yeah, and in spite of the shutdown or the ceasing of publication of new articles, the AnandTech site, articles, and forum will remain online indefinitely, and readers have been advised to head over to Tom's Hardware, their sister site, for future tech news and analysis.
Speaking of the forum, it's so much stuff has gone to Reddit these days. So the forums aren't what they used to be, but they had over 350,000 registered folks on the forum, which that's pretty incredible. And they ended up with over 35 million posts over the years.
That is quite a lot of posts.
Yeah, so it's cool that they'll be keeping it alive. It'll just be interesting. I just don't know, will it be dying a slow death? But at least for now, you guys can go, check out the forum and hopefully be able to get some good information from there.
Okay, so with all that said, I guess it raises a question of changes in the tech industry and reporting in the tech industry and things moving to video format, short form video, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Stories, and just a much faster proliferation of information and misinformation.
Yes.
It's hard to know if the person telling you the facts about upcoming technology knows what they're talking about or if it's just their best guess.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's what always kept me coming back to AnandTech is not only that I was interested in the topic, but that their reviews were structured in a way more to be like a research paper rather than a news headline. And they would have graphs and analysis and pages of information that honestly may go over my head, may go over other people's heads, or it may draw you in to want to learn more about the technology. Anand's initial review of the first Intel SSD really made me want to buy an SSD, and I swapped my, I think it was like a 250 gig hard drive or maybe an 80 gig hard drive at the time for a 60 gig SSD and never went back.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it really was an amazing resource. I'm glad they're leaving it up to not only look back on those articles, but also inform, hopefully, individuals who want to do something similar as to what the breadth of information they should approach when they're presenting articles and things like that. Yeah.
I will say, with the rise of social media and misinformation getting spread, that most people, I recommend this to my friends and stuff, like, you take everything on the internet with a grain of salt. Like, you don't fully trust something because you never know if they're being paid, right, and they're not being truthful about what they're getting out of these videos that they're making.
In my opinion, it's just sad because they noticed over time there was a drop off, and it's getting to that point where it's, you want that information in 60 seconds or less is kind of what it's becoming. And it's a shame when you had a site like this that they put so much hard work into getting all of that information put together. Hopefully, through other sites like Tom's Hardware, it won't end up becoming extinct. Hopefully there'll be some folks that'll keep doing what they're doing. But it's a downright shame, in my opinion, that AnandTech had to shut down. Yeah.
And just side note, if people are looking for the same breadth and depth of information, Gamers Nexus, Level 1 Techs on YouTube, I think they also simultaneously publish articles online on their news site, and looks like the labs from LTT is probably going to do something similar.
I'm glad that people are filling in that hole.
Yeah, we need good in-depth knowledge. Yeah, I just as an example, about a year ago, I was looking for an air purifier for home, and every review site I saw was a paragraph on the same 5 apparently highly rated air purifiers, and every video I saw was about 30 seconds long. Unboxed it, said this is great, and it made me healthy. No information. How much does it filter?
And then there's a little disclaimer at the bottom of the article, or where they might be getting paid as
or it's in the caption and it just says hashtag ad, or like down at the bottom of TikToks it says sponsored.
Yes. Yeah.
Like in point like 2 font.
Right. So frustrating.
Okay. So a couple of weeks ago we talked about updating to Windows 11 and, if you should do it, which I think we all came to an agreement that you should.
Sure.
Well, according to Steam, Windows 11 has passed Windows 10 in popularity among gamers since its release in 2021. Steam conducts monthly hardware and software surveys to all of their customers just to kind of see what everybody's playing on and to get a feel of like what they should really advertise. And so I've got some numbers. Windows 11 landed top with a 49.17%. That is a 3.36% increase since the last time they did these surveys. And Windows 10 dropped 3.07% to 47.09%.
Wow. So the adoption rates finally, they finally crossed over.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are thinking that this is because of the impending end of life for Windows 10 next October. I have some news, good or bad, depending on how you'd like to see it. Microsoft will be offering extended security updates for Windows 10 for businesses starting at $61 for the first year and doubling the next year, starting this October. Education customers will pay $1 for the first year, $2 for the next year. Both only get a 3-year extension, and then I think that's it.
Yeah, that would be it. And then even in that third year, it'd be doubled again.
Mm-hmm. So all I could find was it was for businesses and education. I'm not completely certain for personal use security extensions yet.
Even if you could at $61 for the first year, I would hate to shell out that money, much less the second or the third year.
If you're running Windows 10, Windows 11 is free.
Yes.
Make a backup like we've advised before and upgrade.
Yeah.
That's my best advice. That's all of my systems have been running Windows 11 for longer than I can remember.
Yeah.
And anecdotally haven't had any issues with it. So
Good advice.
All right, I got some fun games for y'all. We've seen some interest in this game. It's called Squirrel with a Gun.
Abby's been very interested in this game.
It's a very, I don't know why, but it seems like a very fun and chaotic game.
I think it's going to be an awesome game. And the people on Steam, the reviewers are saying exactly the same thing that you've been excited about.
Yeah. So as the neighborhood's most obnoxious rodent, develop a knack or a love for crime and mayhem in pursuit of golden acorns in this nutty sandbox shooter and puzzle platformer. Fight tooth, claw, and gun to escape a secret underground facility and defeat the agents. It was released on August 29th, has had very positive reviews on Steam, and it is currently $19.99.
For that price, it's definitely worth checking out.
I sent out a social media post and asking what everyone was excited for this year, and one woman came back and said, "Squirrel with a gun," and I've been so excited to share this one.
We're going to get this game for you, and we are going to have you put at least 5 to 10 hours into it.
I will be the most chaotic squirrel ever.
And we will look forward to having you do a little mini review of the game.
Definitely. So if you are a fan of World of Warcraft, I have Lost Ark for you. Explore 7 vast and varied continents and the seas between them to find vibrant cultures, strange beasts, and all the unexpected marvels waiting to be discovered. Dive into the secrets of Arcesia, prove your might in battle and raids, compete against other players in PvP, travel to distant islands in search of hidden riches, face packs of enemies and colossal bosses in this open world, and more. It was actually released February of 2 years ago, actually. Oh my God, I'm thinking it's 2023. It's not. So it was released February of 2022, has mostly positive reviews, and it is free to play on Steam.
Can't beat that price. Check it out.
Can't beat that. The epic games of the week are Rugrats Adventures in Gameland, when Tommy, Chucky, Phil, and Lil see a commercial for a new Reptar video game. They pretend that they're in the video game of their own. Toggle between beautiful 8-bit and HD art, select your favorite baby, and play solo or co-op. And then we have Super Crazy Rhythm Castle. It's in all caps, and I was like, I'm not gonna yell this one.
Like Squirrel with a Gun.
A puzzling co-op mashup unlike anything you've ever heard. Work together to think outside the box while keeping your combo. Solo or with a band up to 3 friends, can you conquer the castle? And then I got some more humble bundles for y'all. The Super Narrative Celebration Bundle. Immerse yourself in the beautiful slice of life adventure of A Space for the Unbound. Lose yourself in the soundtrack and platforming of a Highland song. Set sail into the icy seas with the Pale Beyond, and more. And then Humble Detectives, you'll be solving the mystery of Marissa Marcel in a movie-focused thriller and immortality. Help catch a infamous serial killer in Killer Frequency and uncover dark secrets within the gorgeous land of Paradise in Paradise Killer and more. So Humble Detectives will end today. So go check them out. All right. John W. in Texas has a question for our Pack Talk. Should I update the motherboard BIOS when new updates come out?
A very good and, I guess, timely question. Given the recent updates from Intel and their motherboard manufacturing partners, I'd say as a rule of thumb, unless there's a major vulnerability being patched or a microcode update like we've seen in recent weeks, leave your BIOS as is. It may be a little counterintuitive to not automatically update something, but general rule of thumb for me is unless something needs to be patched or there's an issue being addressed that you're experiencing with your system, you may risk, if you have a power outage during your BIOS, may risk damaging your board or it not being functional anymore, but also introducing new errors that you currently aren't experiencing. So read the release notes. Generally what we do when we ship a system, we'll make sure it has the latest BIOS as long as there isn't an issue that we know about with that BIOS. But as for updating it out in the field, it's really balanced between how stable is your system currently and are you willing to introduce possibly a new issue without fixing something that you're currently being affected by.
Yeah, like you said, it is timely with the whole deal with Intel and Asus and all these other manufacturers, I should say, working on these fixes. That would be the kind of the one caveat there where it makes sense to do the update. But generally speaking, it's not like you're going to get a boost in performance by doing a BIOS update. If it's working, just leave well enough alone in that situation. I mean, ultimately, it's up to you. If Murphy's Law kicks in, though, and you have, a power outage, you very well will probably be bricking your motherboard at that point. So if you decide to do it, if you don't already have a battery backup UPS, first, I would recommend that you do get one regardless to help with spikes and potential power outages. But I would highly recommend being on one if you're going to make the decision to do something like that.
Yeah, definitely. And then as we always say, or as I feel like I'm nagging you at this point, make a backup before you do anything.
Always.
Always.
Lorenzo's first rule of computers: back up your system.
Make and have a functional backup. That is the best thing you can do.
We'll actually come out with Lorenzo's 10 Commandments at some point in the near future.
Only the first 5 will be backing up.
Exactly.
Stay tuned later today. We'll be posting our giveaway winner all over our socials.
And congratulations in advance to the winner.
Yeah.
We appreciate all the many entries that we got. And it was fun just reading through those, like we had mentioned in the last podcast. Mm-hmm. So appreciate all the extra ones coming in.
If you've won, you'll be receiving an email from me. So just keep an eye out.
Thanks, Abby. So I think this wraps up this episode. And that being said, Abby, if I could have you go through the many ways that folks can reach out to us.
As always, you can email us at podcast@doghousesystems.com. You can give us a call at 214-810-4347, or you can DM us on Instagram, Facebook, X, and Threads at Doghouse Systems.
And again, we appreciate the questions that have been coming in for the podcast for the technical support type questions. We encourage you, if you'd like to go ahead and leave a voicemail, go ahead and do so, and we will be playing it on a future podcast. So this wraps us up. I hope that you guys have a wonderful weekend coming up, and we'll look forward to being back with you guys next Friday. Until then, y'all take care.